Looking at birth and death on this impermanent earth, and amid the invasion of countless questions, human being anxiously asks, what is life? Immortality is an illusion or reality? It's achievable or out of reach? Is there any hideaway to escape the death? By all means, human life in this physical body took shape on this planet. However it was started, whether through Adam and Eve in the Abrahamic beliefs, Mashiach Mashiana in Zoroastrianism, natural selection and gradual evolution, or Anunnaki's manipulation of their DNA with a wild earthly animal to make a breed of workers, or any other tale, this being, in the form of the human species, formed here. On this beautiful earth, in an earthly body that is apparently shaped by physical elements, yet non-earthly and metaphysical elements are found within it as well. Moreover, thousands of years of life on this planet have created a long-term reservoir of information in this being, enabling it to acquire more skills to help its continuation. Skills that have changed it into a toolmaker creature, and through reliance on its ingenuity and equipment, a sense of superiority has taken root within it. Through its thoughts, speech, and actions, as the basic tools of life on earth, it has been able to both apply its specific needs from nature, manipulate nature to its desires, and gradually step beyond its limiting boundaries. This human being has overcome many limitations thanks to tools and medicines for curing diseases. It has almost controlled its premature death. With transportation tools, now moves easily on land, sea, and air. It looks beyond the boundaries of the sky, aiming to discover and even conquer other planets. With technology flowing through all aspects of its life, it has become the administrator and determining being on earth. But it ever remains captive to expiration. It has crossed many limitations and boundaries, but is this human race able to overcome death too? Perhaps the most determining feeling that arises from being in a creature is continuity. This sense causes a behavior in it called the struggle for survival. Perhaps this struggle is the most fundamental activity on earth, common to all creatures, and humans are no exceptions. The struggle for survival in non-human creatures at the level of instinct, the natural form of being, has led to their efforts to feed species that it plans to continue being alive, and species that eat other creatures to survive. In the case of human being, it seems that as a result of mechanism of thinking and the formation of societies, factors such as religion and ideological beliefs have been emerged. Beyond being engaged in activities related to the survival of their bodies based on instincts, humans have also demonstrated activities for the continuation of their beliefs. By entering human societies into agricultural era, these mental and mostly supernatural beliefs and behaviors based on them affected nearly all aspects of human life, and form the basic foundations of human worldview. These beliefs have brought this human species the legitimacy to manipulate nature and its elements, as well as permission to determine the destiny of other creatures. Based on these beliefs, which took shape in humans from the beginning of the agricultural era, this human species has always considered itself as the agent of God or gods and the master of other beings. It also has manipulated nature and fought with other colonies within its own species for these ideological beliefs. The wars and violence of humanity during these thousands of years have been so extreme that if we say the earth smells of blood, we would not be mistaken. Of course, it must be noted that alongside the growth of this violent and cruel dimension in this human species, concepts related to harmony with creation, respect for nature and love for it, compassion, and efforts to establish lasting peace on this planet have also grown significantly. However, with a realistic observation onto the events on Earth, we conclude that the violent, destructive, and merciless side of humanity has been more dominant. Beneath all these unpleasant events in human life, which are often sealed by ideological legitimacy, usually a celestial legitimacy, an instinctual struggle is visible, which has even harnessed the power of its heavenly beliefs. At a deeper level, these conflicts trace back to the same sense arising from being, the sense of continuity, and thus human being strives either to remain longer on earth or to become immortal, an effort that, so far, has not been supported by the influential forces of the universe. Even with failure to overcome death, human being has always sought to immortalize itself in its products and also in beliefs, through injecting them into future generations, achieving a relative satisfaction, but still we see that it has not been very successful. Is immortality an achievable goal for human being, or is it doomed to fail in its pursuit of eternity with no escape from this fate? Through studying human beliefs that have been shaped over these thousands of years, we see that there are three major views in answering the question about ending physical life. One view addresses death as the end of everything we are on earth, not recognizing any continuation of human life even in a non-earthly body, due to the deep-rooted sense of continuity and immortality in the depths of human subconscious. This view has not gained widespread acceptance in human society. The second view, mostly found in organized religions such as Zoroastrianism, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, considers the continuation of life after death in a non-earthly body and in three defined realms called purgatory, means the intermediate states, paradise, and hell. Purgatory is the metaphysical region between earthly life and paradise or hell, and it is said that after death, people enter purgatory commonly through passing over a bridge until their actions in this life are judged to determine whether they will go to paradise or hell for eternal life. In this view, which has a mighty dominion on human societies, 7 levels are considered for both paradise and hell, and each individual is placed in one of these levels based on his or her status. In these religions, the continuation of life is accepted, but they only accept this one chance for life in an earthly body, and whatever happens to every person after this life is considered the results of our thoughts, words, and deeds in this single earthly life. The third view, which we encounter in some ancient myths and also in some past religions, such as Manichaeism, admits the opportunity for life in an earthly body more than once, believing that all humans have the chance to live multiple times on earth in various physical bodies. This view, in addition to having roots in the depths of human history, especially in the 21st century, has gained many adherents in the form of believing reincarnation in most societies, and is being combined with concepts of quantum physics such as synchronicity and others. This race of human being, looking at the cycle of birth and death on this impermanent earth and amid the onslaught of countless questions, thoughtfully ponders what is life and astonishingly asks, is immortality an illusion or reality, attainable or out of reach? And to answer this question, looks at every sign in this infinite creation, sometimes hopefully and sometimes in despair. In ancient human rituals and myths, there are traces of immortality and painful efforts to reach this desire, most of which are futile. The oldest written human document talking about this pursuit, about 3,700 to 3,800 years ago, was written on clay tablets in cuneiform scripts in the Middle East. These tablets were discovered about 170 years ago in present-day Iraq. According to the sacred texts, Ashurbanipal, the king of Assyria, had a library where all the knowledge of his time was recorded on clay tablets and preserved. The Assyrians were one of the 4 city-states in Mesopotamia, alongside the Akkadians, Sumerians, and Babylonians. Each of these city-states governed the region at different times. In addition to these 4 civilizations, this region was at times under the control of Elamites and at the other times the Kassites. But the cultural dominance of these 4 native civilizations was so great and deep-rooted that their prominence in ruling this region is evident throughout history. These 4 ancient tribes played an important role in shaping later human civilizations. The last period of dominance of these 4 city-states belonged to the Babylonians, which ended with the conquest of Babylon by Cyrus, the great Persian king, and apparently a new era in ruling human societies started. Years earlier, during the Assyrian reign, because of their brutal and murderous aggressions against neighboring civilizations, which also led to the downfall of Elamites, the Medes and Babylonians allied to defeat the Assyrians and finally set their great city ablaze. About 30,000 clay tablets discovered in present-day Iraq through archaeological excavations by Austin Henry Layard and his assistant in 1850 and 1853 are believed to be the remnants of Ashurbanipal's library. These tablets, hardened by the heat of the fire that destroyed the Assyrian royal palace during the attack by the Medes and Babylonians, remained relatively intact under deep layers of soil. Through non-stop efforts for reading these tablets in England, George Smith recognized several tablets that seemed to narrate a story in sequence. These tablets described a flood woven into a larger, more expansive epic about Gilgamesh, the legendary king of Uruk. Since then, so many writings have been published about this ancient epic, along with numerous historical, psychological, and mythological interpretations on the subject of Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is considered the oldest written human record explaining humanity's confrontation with expiration and the search for immortality, as well as the most beautiful and ancient intellectual product of humanity in the entire East. And it may be the primary source for all the similar legends that later appeared in the Torah and later religions. In the next video, by looking at the Epic of Gilgamesh, we aim to offer fresh insights into this fascinating story and human strive to reach immortality in the beginning days of this human civilization.